Hello. The topic for today is what is civilization? What is civilization? Right. This channel is entitled The End of Civilization. So we'd better first talk about what civilization is. If it is ending, if we are going to discuss here the various signs of its coming to an end, then we should define our terms. We should know what we're talking about and what civilization is, for our purposes here anyway. On this topic, I remember very well a particular moment in time. It happened some years ago. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but I walked down the street at night, and it was pleasant, and I was in a contemplative mood. And it just occurred to me, just suddenly occurred to me, I can walk here at night. It's safe. It's very quiet and peace and quiet, really. The street and the pavement, all well-kept houses, pretty maintained, good houses. It was an old quarter of a European city. And so it just occurred to me, how come, how is this? Why is this way? Why is it this way? I can walk here, it's safe, it's quiet, it's peaceful. It's pleasant, very pleasant to just walk here at night. Everything's, well kept, maintained, pretty. But it's not like this in every place, right? It's not like this in every place. We take it for granted because we know this from early on. As far as we can remember, it's been this way, more or less. So, yeah, it's normal. It becomes the excuse me. It becomes the norm, doesn't it? Yeah, this is the way it is. It's always been this way. It's normal, and yeah. Well, so what? What's the big deal here? But it's not. But it's not normal. I mean, it's certainly not this way. It's certainly not this way in other places of the world, and it was not this way here either. If you go far if you go far enough into the past. Yeah, so we take it for granted, but it's not. And so I thought to myself, if I just happened, instead of being here now, if I happened to be on the streets of Congo, Africa, for example, you know, it wouldn't be the same way. It would not be safe. Probably shooting in the streets, noises of all whatever kinds, you know. I'm sure it's not quiet and peaceful at night. No street lights to light your way. Everything in disrepair. Destroyed. Sorry. I thought of another way to put it. Yeah, so how come? How is this possible? Why? What's the basic cause? What's the basic reason why it is civilized here, peaceful, orderly, pleasant, and not there? Why? What's the basic reason for this? What actually makes civilization? Right. Now, it just dawned on me, that it's all in the mind. It's in people's minds. You know, leaving out some of the material factors like money and technology development, whatever. Yeah, okay. These are you know, considerations, but no, you know, why do you feel you are in a civilized environment? What makes it civilized in your feeling, in your mind? It's because people behave themselves. You know, it's because it's peaceful, it's orderly, it's safe. Yeah, it's polite, you might say, in a way. It's one of the, if you look at the etymology of civilization, it's you know, being civil means being polite, among other things. Yeah, so okay. It's all in the mind, really. It's in people's minds. It all stems from certain attitudes they have, how they think about themselves and others, certain standards of behavior they have, or try to follow, what they've been, you know, brought up to believe is proper and right and acceptable and so forth. Yeah, so it's in the mind. It really is in the mind. So what is civilization then? We can talk about signs of civilization. Right. So what are the signs of civilization? Simple things, really. You know, most of the people being able to respect the traffic rules most of the time is a sign of civilization. People ordinarily not trying to pass you over in a queue line is a sign of civilization. Yeah. People are trying to resolve conflict through communication rather than violence. It's a sign of civilization. And I'm sure you could name many other such examples if you wanted to. You know, the law could be another one. You know, people being equal before the law, regardless of you rich and powerful or poor and powerless. The law should apply same to everybody. Yeah. So I'm sure you could, you know, name many examples, and I think you well know deep inside what these things would be that define a place where you would like to live. Now I can make, you know, abstract, deconstructive that jerk. Excuse me. I mean Foucault and, you know, Derrida and these idiots. I'm sure they'll go down in the annals of history as, you know, they have contributed to a better life for all of us. Yeah, so you could, if you wanted to, you could be very abstract about it, and you know, and try to define civilization in whatever terms, like, yeah, some of these folks, they're not ashamed to attach the label of civilization to anything, you know, any group of people that does exist or has ever existed. The old Romans, they were a little more sincere about these things, a little more straightforward. So they did differentiate between the state of civilization and the state of barbarism. But barbarism, I guess, no, I'm afraid not. Most people don't even know what it really means these days. Yeah, sorry for that. It's just an intellectual digression, really. But the point is, from all the examples I've tried to put forth here, the key point is that a civilization, any civilization worth that name, has at its core an idealistic view of men. An idealistic view of men. That's right. Now, a group of people which has at its core the view of man as a wild beast, brutal animal, run only by its lowest impulses, is not a civilization. It is not a civilization. It's what the old Romans would call barbarism. But well, since the word barbarism is kind of outmoded now and not well understood by many people, let's use for our purposes here, let's replace it with the word jungle. That should communicate well enough to most people, I hope. So a civilization must have at its core an idealistic view of man. Now, when I speak of ideals here, let's clarify this. Let's clarify this because it's important. When I speak of ideals here, what I mean by an ideal, it's very important, and it will be important for many of my future videos that I'm going to make. When I talk about an ideal, I don't simply mean a wish or a desire of any kind whatsoever. If you want to be very rich, for example, it's not an ideal here for our purposes. No, it's not an ideal. It's a wish, it's a desire. Fair enough, you know, but it's not. When I say ideal here, I mean, and I will rely on this definition for all my future talks, I mean a man becoming more of an angel than a beast, to put it poetically. A man becoming more of an angel than a beast. And I think in our civilizational circle, we all more or less know, if you want to know, what I mean by that. I simply mean, you know, an effort to be a little more sincere, a little more honest, a little more decent, a little less selfish, a little more caring, a little more honorable, and so on, a little more courageous. And when I talk about ideals, for our purposes here, another important thing is, I mean shared ideals. Shared ideals. You can have your own personal ideals, that's great, but you can be a sheep among wolves. But shared ideals are a civilizational force. So by an ideal we mean an aspiration for a man to become more of an angel than a beast, and we mean shared ideals. Shared ideals. Right. Now, a civilization employs various means to help man move towards its ideals. Education, spiritual efforts, religious efforts, the law, shared values, endorsement of virtues, and so on. But we can talk about these things, and we will, at much length in the later videos. The purpose of this video was to agree on what civilization will mean to us for the purposes of what we do here, what I try to do here, I try to achieve an understanding with my audience, and if there is to be an understanding, we have to agree on the basic terms. And so let's settle on this, okay? Let's settle on this. A civilization, as I'm not too inclined to believe that man is basically good. I mean, I believe that he has a potential for good. He has a potential to be basically good, but he may also turn out to be bad. So let's settle here on this. A civilization is a jungle impregnated with ideals. A jungle impregnated with ideals. Thanks for watching.